Hello, everyone. So I'm going to jump right into the teaching and then offer some astrological context afterwards so I can really stay connected to the spirit of what's coming through. We can all relate to the idea that we have worldly ambitions, the success that we want to achieve, the worldly goals that we want to accomplish. Be it relationship, love, finances, career, success, popularity, whatever it is, we all have that. And there's a sort of health in being able to kind of wake up and live for something, to feel like I'm motivating myself, whatever the material goal is. Most of these material goals, if we're really honest with ourselves, are fueled by what we never got. It's like that ambition towards a perfect relationship or the one who will love me in the way that I want to is often fueled by the lack of love that we got in our early imprinting. We weren't popular, now we really do the work to feel attracted, to feel good about ourselves, to be successful, to be well known. We were poor or impoverished or money was hard, and we determine ourselves to create financial success. These goals fuel us and they become a touchstone along our soul journey. For many people, it's sculpting the body, right? And it gives meaning, it gives direction. And of course, as we know, these goals and achieving these things in life are never really the end result. They're just phases and things that we work through that ground and give direction to our life for a time. But what's very difficult is there are phases along the soul journey where we are faced with the need to really become emotionally honest about the identities that are really being played out here. So the successful entrepreneur, the person that's manifested just the right kind of relationship, the person that's popular and well known or has achieved the platform or the success that they want. What kind of identity did you need to build? Who did you have to become to uphold that? And there comes a point that the identity itself, as beautiful and well-developed as it is, right? Like you can be a really nice, kind, well-known teacher. You can be in a relationship where, your partner is really happy with you and really satisfied with you. But what do you need to keep going? What concept of self do you need to maintain in order to keep that identity going? So every identity / every ego structure requires some sort of maintenance and fuel because it's not what we are, it's what we focus our energy to become. It's what we image ourselves to be. And as long as we value it, as long as the benefit, the capital gains of said identities are worth it, then we will persist in maintaining it. We'll do all the work required to be the person that we want to be, to maintain the life and the experiences and the gains that we're seeking from our life. But then there comes a point where, and I don't know when this happens, it just happens for all of us when it happens, where the efforts required to invest in this identity are no longer worth the returns. And so it becomes depleting. The person that, the identity that's kind and loving, it would not be without some sense of exhaustion and depletion, right? The one that's gotten the relationship and is loved and is going to be not without some kind of repression of their own personal feelings or truths. The successful, I'm making a lot of money and I'm popular, is not going to be without some kind of stress or repression or anxiety. Like there's going to be some subtle dysfunction that will be weaving itself at the core of our identity, just kind of there operating all the time. Like how much caffeine do we need to take to get to where we want to go? How much playing the game do we need to sustain? How much image do we need to pretend is real to become the person that we want to become? I mean, you can think about all of the 10,000 identity structures that exist and really how much effort, how much work really is required. And so there's a natural exhaustion point. And this is a good thing because this exhaustion is essentially saying there's an evolutionary push that says you have to keep on going. There's another phase of experience. I think often we're really afraid to meet how we really feel and what's really going on, because, oh, but I got it. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to stabilize. And this is a Saturn thing. So we have the Saturn in Pisces getting ready to station direct right now. And oftentimes we'll hold on to the ideal form, the value and the meaning that we place on the structures that we have, but we're very afraid to let it dissolve. You know, it's like, I'm not waking up with the same energy. This relationship that I valued, it's requiring a lot of work. Like, what's revealed, a good metaphor really for the identity, it's like a relationship that requires one person to do a lot of work in order for it to kind of stay, right? In order for it to kind of stay upright and kind of maintain. But what happens when that person stops doing all the work? What happens when we stop investing in that identity? We realize, oh, people are going to think differently about me. I won't make as much money. I'm not going to fill in the blank with whatever results and attachments we've had in this world. But we realize it's not the end of living. It's not the end of good relationships or making money or feeling healthy or feeling on purpose. It's the end of the conditions that we place in order to get it. On a deepest level, we haven't learned that we are love. We haven't learned who we really are. On the deepest level, we don't know who we are. And we actually believe there's a deep fear, a deep guilt, a deep shame, a deep unworthiness at the core. And so we uphold all of these conditions, because if we let that go, we're afraid we're not going to be held. So there's a deeper meaning and purpose and truth to our life. We can call it our holy function, borrowing from a Course in Miracles term. There is a way of being where our life and our actions aren't fueled by the need to kind of run away from or protect ourselves from the actual possibility of deep inadequacy and unworthiness, but is actually a way in which our gifts, our innate capacities can be utilized, and we actually get to live a life that's about inspiration and higher meaning and purpose. Like, wouldn't we want that our highest joy, our highest direction and purpose in life is that which fuels our deepest joy and inspiration? You know, you wouldn't require a whole lot of caffeination or medication to keep yourself going. You wouldn't require all this compromise to sustain something. So this is, this weekend, we have Mercury in Scorpio moving into its next powerful phase. It's going to form a grand water trine with Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. So Mercury is always providing more information, sort of expanding our logical framework. In Scorpio, we're really kind of getting underneath. There's a sort of honesty here in this Mercury retrograde, looking very honestly with the sincerity of Jupiter in Cancer, and what's unraveling with Saturn in Pisces. So I think there's the possibility for a depth of emotional honesty and insight and greater perspective. What's ending? What is it time to let go of? And when we let go, that allows us to actually feel something that we couldn't. We're keeping our life in check, like, right? This is how it is, I have to. And it worked for a while, but we get to that threshold where endings have to happen. And so we actually stop feeling. When we're repressing and kind of holding the forms together, we're not able to access a deeper emotional current. So it's only in the letting go, and this is the allowing, the relaxing, that we begin to feel things that the forms have been protecting us from feeling. And there's so much insight. This rest of this month, moving into next month, moving into next year, there is such profound movement and change happening in the collective for all of us. So we can see where is, the latter degrees of the water signs and the rulers of all those water signs in our own chart to gather more insight. But I think just take it away from the astrology, because we can really feel it first. We can ask ourselves, what's requiring more effort than is actually worth the return? And where can I learn that I'm truly loved and safe to let go? That there's a self, there's an experience, there's a life beyond what I've known so far. All right. As always, I'm available for sessions. These are one-on-one couples readings and long-term soul-to-soul companionship sessions, which are discounted. I have my self-study training program that is available for enrollment all year long. I have a newsletter where I often write articles along with these videos. I also have a blog that is non-astrology, and I recently wrote an article. See, these thoughts came out first in the article before I thought about the astrology. And if you'd like to receive these, I'll put a link to that in the description below. And lastly, I have a Jupiter class that I recently taught that is on sale for this entire month. It's one of my favorite classes on Jupiter. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching.